All right. So moving on to our next topic is basically I'd like to take up, because you're an SEO company, we're an SEO company, we'd like to take up understanding or giving our listeners a good understanding about the difference between Google AdWords or a pay-per-click campaign and SEO. We talked about a footbridge and a steel bridge. Can you elaborate on that some more?
Well, basically, yeah, that's a good analogy in terms of, getting results. So you can imagine there's a canyon there and you want to get across that canyon. So that's like the marketing scenario. You want to get you want to bridge the divide between you and your customers. You want to get people to visit your site. So to bridge that, you can use two mechanisms. You can use AdWords or you can use SEO. To bring in traffic to your site, traffic that you wouldn't normally gain access to. So there's people who don't know you. So, for example, AdWords is fast, it's quick, it's easy, it's ready, plug your credit card in, away you go. So it's like a footbridge. You can erect it quick, it's cheap, you throw up a few cables and you're running. It's a little unstable in terms of, it will swing around and things. So you've got to get used to it. You've got to play around with it and get the settings right to make sure it's delivering the performance that you want, as in your AdWords campaigns. So, for example, you don't want your AdWords campaigns running out after 2 days because all your money is gone. So that's a little bit of tweaking and playing. Once you get it stable, it's pretty okay. It doesn't do too much swinging around. And it will bring traffic to you at a cost per click. Of course, your competitors are clicking too. And if they're onto it, they're using professional clickers. And more and more companies getting smart. They wipe your budget, your daily budget, and then when all their competitors' budgets wipe, that's when they launch their adverts. So they go to the top because there's no competition for a less cost per click. And there's professional clickers who will manage those sort of things for you. Obviously not usually in countries like the USA or Singapore, but certainly in countries like Vietnam. And there's a growing number of companies offering those services now. The Vietnamese are getting very smart in those technological areas. On the other hand, if you want to get a proper result, you've got to build a bridge that you can bring anything across, a truck load, you can bring a motorway across the darn thing, and it's stable and it doesn't rock and it certainly does not swing. That is SEO. So an SEO is a regular standard bridge of traffic to your site. And that means that you can bring 1 million people across that bridge in one day, and guess how much it costs?
Zero.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you've got your setup costs, you've got your cost of running that campaign, but it's not volume relative, and that's the beauty. So once you start ranking at the top, your traffic is virtually basically free apart from paying your SEO fees. Overall, SEO has got a better return on investment than PPC over a period of about 18 months to 2 years.
Okay, that's a very good explanation. And but how about Google? Like right now, there is a personalized search, which is Google Search Plus Your World.
Yep.
So does it basically wipe out SEO in that you cannot game the search engines anymore?
Well, it's a new interesting arena. Of course, Google created Google Plus One, their own social search environment, to compete with Facebook. Now, that's great, but what has that got to do with search? Google is a search functionality. Now, of course, that delivers value to Google in terms of the social networks. They're not left behind. And now you can actually customize your search options so it includes your circles, people who are in your search circles, in your social network circles. So what they're searching for can be included in yours, so it will influence them. Now, we've done several tests, and it does show up. The thing is, though, this is all dependent on you being logged into Google. So it's not that you're on a search engine and you're playing around. You must be logged in. And if you're not, nothing happens. That information is not displayed. So the question is, how many people are logged in all the time when they're doing the searches, when they're creating things? What is actually happening there? And of course, with privacy laws changing, people are more sensitive now about what they're searching for and what is being recorded. And of course, if they're logged in, everything they search for is being recorded, and as we know, the US government likes to have access to this information, so especially Americans are more and more sensitive about not logging in when they do the search, especially if they're searching for some interesting things that might not want to be made public. So that is obviously an arena that is in competition with the whole idea of social networks. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all pans out. At the end of the day, to keep it very simple, it's too early to see. It's really too early to see. Yes, if you're logged in, your circles, search results are influence yours, and they do show up. So that's significant. But basically, if you are not logged in and you're not part of all that circle, you're not involved, you just get the traditional search.
Correct. And so because of that, I seem to be hearing from you that optimization still stays.
Absolutely. It's not disappearing overnight. Obviously, the ground rules are changing. Social elements are coming into play. More and more people are using Google Plus One, and it is influencing the search results. So it's a significant trend forward, but still there's a very large majority of traditional users who are not using Plus One.